Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 8 of the CPA-fol podcast. Last week was pretty crazy. We had to unfortunately cut the show a little short because of the Venator being released, which I think was a worthy reason to cut it short. But we did get about halfway through the LEGO Ideas, a little over halfway through the LEGO Ideas finalists. Such a very high competitive crowd in there. Which leads us to this week, something very special. If you were in the chat last week, you remember I was surprised by someone popping up in chat who was actually one of the LEGO designers for one of the sets we spent, if you remember Bricotomy, we spent a lot of time looking at. It was the Tailspin set. And so we'll have in a little bit, we'll kind of still work through an intro. We'll have in a little bit, Delusion Brick will be popping in. We'll go over his kind of process for doing things, his designs, maybe some other stuff he's working on. We'll see what he has cooking for us. A little side note, as you may notice, we don't have any Bricotomy on the stream this week. That is unfortunately because he had to have a medical procedure. He's doing okay. He's recovering, but unfortunately he needs the rest. So I figured the rest was probably more important than hobbling on stream. So we'll see. We'll check in with him in the next couple of weeks to see where he's at. I'm sure he is certainly going to miss this podcast. I know it. But if you're listening out there, Bricotomy, we're thinking about you. We hope you have a strong recovery and we can see you in the next couple of weeks. If you're in chat right now, I know I saw Joe in chat. Good to see you there. We saw the Stream Elements bot in chat. Unfortunately, that doesn't count for much. But please, if you've got any thoughts on the LEGO Ideas programs, if you're excited about this interview coming up, please let me know. I want to get some thoughts. I want to get some feedback in the chat because, like I said, I'm going to be learning a lot today. We talked a little bit beforehand, and I was learning stuff like crazy. We'll probably repeat a little stuff that we talked about just because I think it's going to be awesome for all of you to see again or to hear, for me to hear again, for you all to hear for the first time. It's going to be great. So we've got about an hour. So while it's still going to be a good chunk of time, it'll maybe be shorter than a normal podcast, which is perfectly fine. I think sometimes I kind of draw stuff out. So we'll keep it tight. We'll keep it focused. And so if you're in chat, please let me know what you're thinking, what you're expecting. If you think someone else would enjoy this interview, this podcast, please share with them. I know the past couple of weeks as we've gone through the LEGO Ideas sets, that was actually even our first podcast was looking through some of those. It's crazy to think we're at this point. So without wasting too much more time, we're going to shift gears and we are going to welcome Delusion Brick to the podcast. Let me get your audio up and your video up. Welcome. How are you doing? For you, it's evening. For me, it's afternoon. How's it going?
Hello. I'm fine.
And chat, as always, chat's going to keep me honest. And if audio is messed up or whatever, just let me know. But wow, so 10K club member, it's great to have you here on the show. Like I said, we did talk a little bit beforehand to kind of get an idea of where we're talking or what we're going to be talking about this episode. So, I mean, LEGO Ideas, LEGO designer, just tell us a little bit about kind of how you started designing LEGO. I know we talked a little bit about how LEGO has affected your career. And LEGO has affected kind of literally, honestly, a whole lot. Maybe not everything about you, but a lot, as it had us. So kind of walk us through that a little bit.
Okay, I will start from LEGO from childhood, as everything else. And we have the Dark Ages also, like else. And after that, I think at 17, I started again I see the Lego idea programming, and I tell myself, okay, I will try it. Why not? Because I am designer in my job also. I'm a 3D artist, and in this time I can say you, I start with Lego when I am a child. The Lego helped me to understand the the 3D object, the primitive 3D object. Then I will go to the 3D, my job. The Legos push me to my job, and now I go back to the Lego. It's like a loop, I said you before, and this is my start. And I think is it before 7 years I started the first design Lego attempt.
And so with the Lego Ideas program, and as I had mentioned before when we were talking, I'm fairly new, like many others, fairly new to the whole Lego community, new to kind of the fan designing aspect of Lego. So the Lego Ideas program has, I guess, been around for a long time, like 7 years. You were submitting ideas to Lego, is that correct?
Yes, actually, to design a set because I try to do big set like like 300 pieces and more, like something like that. And if you design a big set, you need a lot of time to
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of stuff, the functionality, the playability, how it works, many things inside the set, and the stability if you can. And because in the digital you don't know the stability, but you have the knowledge about the stability. If you build in the real time, in the real world Lego, you understand how it works, how it's not work about the stability. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I design 2 or 3 sets per year, I think.
Wow. Wow. And designing, man, 2 or 3 sets per year. So what was your first set that you designed for the Lego Ideas program? I don't think we actually talked about that before, so this will be interesting.
Yes, my first Lego, my first Lego idea, it's a lighthouse, and a small lighthouse, because I love lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have an idea of a lighthouse with a portal, with another dimension.
Oh
The
yeah.
if you have a housekeeper, a light housekeeper, who have the ability to, when you visit this lighthouse and visitor, go through the light and go to the other dimension.
Interesting. And was there any inspiration for that, or was that just kind of where your mind went with kind of a lighthouse could lead to something else, or was there any inspiration behind that?
No, I don't. I have in my mind. I love lighthouses, and
Mm-hmm.
also I have this in my mind to build a lighthouse. But I want to connect something more unique,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe this idea it's more unique for a lighthouse, only a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. And do you happen to remember how did it catch on at all? I think is it still on your profile on the Lego Ideas profile?
Yes, it's the
Ooh.
first one. It's the
I'll have to
first one.
scroll
If
down and
you
see
say,
that. Let's see if I can. There it is. Yep. Dimension Portal Lighthouse submitted May 19th, 2017. That's really cool. That's when I was graduating college. That's funny to think about that long time. Wow, that's a really unique looking set. That's really cool. And then we did talk a little bit about how COVID, which as I kind of alluded to, has really changed the landscape of whether it's the Lego fan base, the Lego Ideas, not structure maybe, but just the Lego Ideas landscape as well, with who's submitting, how many people are now submitting. The voting process, it appears to be, to me, a lot more publicized than it was before. So walk us through a little bit about how the Lego ideas, the whole process, and kind of climate has changed from before COVID to after COVID and even to today.
Yes, actually, before COVID situation, they have if I remember well, to reach 10K, to become 10K member, it's totally difficult. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correct, I think only 5, 6, maybe 8 people reach the 10K.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after the COVID situation, if you see 40, 70, 60, it's explode after many people after COVID. When start the COVID situation, they go to buy some stuff from the home because it's difficult to go out. A lot of this is the Lego sets, and
Yep.
after this expansion, the Lego is rising up. I think 2 years explode.
Yeah, and even in the, I guess I'm a product of that, as I loved Lego ever since I was a kid, and kind of like you, had a little dark age in between, late high school, and then picked back up late college, and then once you kind of get into the adult money, you've got a little bit more change to spend on stuff like Lego, kind of going back full force right into it. And then even with having some YouTube knowledge, being able to have a YouTube presence, and then as many, or if you're watching this now, you probably know that kind of going full force into Lego a couple of months ago, back at the beginning of the year in May, with my channel. And that, of course, that whole recipe is nothing new to many people in the Lego space right now, as many Lego consumers or Lego content creators have only been around for 1, 2, 3 years, and they're exploding, which is kind of crazy. I know there's kind of this huge thought that, if only I would have started a YouTube channel a long time ago. It's too late now, I guess, which isn't always the case. So that I can even speak to that whole total climate change across the Lego community. And I thought it was interesting. You said that, maybe I would have expected that, all right, if there were 7, 10K members before COVID, maybe that would go to 20 or so after. But going to like 40 or 40 plus, that is, I would not have expected that. Is that something you would have expected, or kind of seeing both sides of pre-COVID, post-COVID? What maybe would you have expected versus what actually happened?
No, I don't expect it. Really, it's something. I don't expect that the COVID helped the Lego idea programs, and not only Lego idea. I believe also the bricklink
Yes.
stuff. So much. This is the reason. Lego the last year, it's focus on the adult sets, big sets, expensive big sets.
Yes, and we're gonna put a bookmark in Bricklink Designer Program, because I certainly want to spend the last portion of this time we have together to talk about Bricklink, because that's something that I just discovered 2 months ago and literally had no idea it existed. And those sets are kind of, from an investment monetary perspective, those things are through the roof because they're so limited in nature, and to get your hands on them in the moment is kind of maybe easy a little bit, but then once they're gone, they are just gone. So I definitely want to talk about that and kind of get your insight on that process. But going back to Lego ideas, let's walk through some of your sets that you've submitted that have gotten really far. And of course, we'll save the maybe we'll call it the crown jewel, the tailspin, uh, sea duck meeting seagull for the end. But right off the bat, the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai Legacy, I think. Oh no, actually, you had the Karate Kid Wax On, Wax Off. Let's start and talk about that one for a bit. I'll pull that on the screen as you kind of walk us through how that one worked.
Okay. I have the I love the show. I love the old movies.
Mm-hmm.
I see movies. I'm a child of 90s, 80s,
Yep.
and Karate Kid is 80 movie. It's very popular back then. It's popular after the show now. It's connect the past and the present. And I decided to design this set you share, and it's a very fast 10K set. I think it's 2 months
Wow.
to reach in 10K. I believe when I decided and when I completed, I have a lot of expectation to maybe Lego put it out, but it's not. It's not a problem. But if you see, it's a huge set.
Mm-hmm.
Many things happened on this set. I download many photos of this house of the Miyagi house to try to represent it perfectly each angle I have. I think back then this house, the first house of the movie, it's a real house, but I think the second movie and third movie, the house does not exist, and they do it with the props, with
Mm-hmm.
the early design to have it again like a movie props.
Mm-hmm. So then, kind of choosing what you'll use to represent pieces. Is it tough to kind of figure out what you need to make the set, or is it kind of because to me, going from basically ground zero to create something, in my mind it would take so long, just because I don't know all the pieces that are out there. I don't know all the pieces I'll have to connect to make this or that, as I have the inside view looking at Miyagi and what's it, Daniel? Is that the other character? Yeah. So
Yes.
looking at kind of all the different pieces in here, like, are you at or at least when you were creating this set, were you at a point where you kind of knew the pieces, you could picture them in your head, or was it kind of over time you would expand your knowledge, kind of your mental index of pieces needed to create certain looks?
Yes, actually, when I design a set, I have, because we always work with a Lego from the childhood. I have some pieces in my mind, some
Mm-hmm.
favorite pieces. We have all. I have the ordinary pieces, but I have also some extra pieces in my mind. When I design it, I have the build in my mind, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to do a first demo of the structure, and after that I go to the small details and upgrade it and upgrade it and upgrade it. This is the processing and reaching the level I want,
Awesome. And
because no one's know every piece of Lego. No one's
mm-hmm.
know. Okay, but when you work on the studio, you have the in your screen the library of the pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and when you put one piece, you look it and you look it again and again, and you have in my mind, this piece is it's fine, or maybe this is fine, but I make search another pieces maybe, and this is the processing. You search and you find it and you upgrade it and upgrade it and upgrade it.
Most certainly. And even Moments of the Magic is one of the follows here. I talk with him semi often, and he had a nice comment to say. He said, "That is a pretty cool roof. Looks like a great build." And actually, he was reading my mind because it took me a second to realize what you used to make that roof. And of course, it is the upside down. I don't know what the piece is called, but it's typically upside down. So you've kind of flipped it upside down, and like even little stuff like that. How long does it take you, or how do you come to the realization to think, oh, let me just take this piece and I'll flip it upside down, and that would make a great roof?
This is very good question. Very clever. This is the when you redesign and this piece is usually used for the wheels for vehicles.
Yes.
But I try to when you have an idea to redesign something for when one piece for use for something else. This is the point of how clever you use something. And when a user of Lego see that, he approve and he understand how difficult path you go in the design to do something like that. For example, now I try to do something for the bricklink, and it's something I use a hair, a piece of hair. If you going no, you don't go in something. Sorry, I use the piece of hair of minifigure hair for plant, for vegetation.
Nice. Yeah, it's stuff like that where, and here's probably a better picture of the roof that I'm showing now to give anyone who maybe didn't immediately catch what piece it was. But I love that to kind of give that, because were they based in? Certainly they were somewhere out on the western side of the U.S. Was it California, where the Karate Kid location was supposed to be?
I think yes. I think yes.
So it's kind of that aesthetic there, which looks fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm looking through the the paint the fence scene. Looks great.
Yes, they have it have all the lesson of the movie. You see.
And so something just real quick that I'm kind of thinking of is how do you as a designer think to ride the line between a sticker versus, I'm just looking at this paint the house scene. It looks like maybe this one piece would have been a sticker. Does it take much thought to think, all right, this is going to be a sticker versus this is not going to be a sticker, or we're going to try to make it work with pieces? Or do you ever say, all right, I would theoretically ask Lego to print this piece?
So, because I'm a child from 90s, if you have a Lego 80s and 90s, Lego, it not use a sticker, but it use, but not a lot. Every piece, even in a small set, it's printed. And I don't like the sticker. If you ask me, I don't like because why I don't like it? Because after many years, he destroyed the colors of the Lego bricks. If you have white bricks or light or gray pieces with the sun, they destroyed it. Also, everyone know the Lego it's expensive sport. Okay, when you buy something expensive, it's better to have the better quality for your product, for your pieces, for your set.
Certainly.
And the sticker, I don't feel it's the better way of the design.
So it sounds like in general you would rarely use, or would you say never use stickers? It's kind of
I,
where you've decided for yourself?
I try to avoid it. I try to avoid it.
Certainly. And then so
Because if you spend like 200 euros or 200 dollars, it's like, for example, I buy the set of the Ghostbuster. Okay, it's if you in this set you are able to put some stickers to be more weathering, or
yes.
to represent the old car of, and it's a totally. I don't put it. I don't put it because the set it's white, and also it's two lot stickers.
Yes, most certainly.
This is the reason. The minifigure, they don't have sticker.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I can only imagine if the uproar that we would experience if we had to put stickers on our minifigs. That would be something else. And then moving on to it looks like you re-uploaded the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai Legacy to. Were there any major upgrades made to this? It looks like you may have tried to integrate more Cobra Kai into this set, as opposed to the other set was maybe more just Karate Kid. Were there any other changes that you made?
If you go to the last photo, you will see the main upgrade I have in this is totally what happened. If you have the White House, it's the old house.
Okay.
With the Daniel and the Miyagi dog. If you go to this cyan color house, is the version of the TV show house.
Okay, that makes sense. And it looks like, as far as support goes, you're at 5,200 supporters. You've got just under 170 days left. Do you see that as kind of there's a good chance this is going to reach 10,000? Of course, it looks like based on the original one kind of shot up to 10,000 really quick. This one seems to be a little bit of a slower burn. But do you still foresee this hitting that 10,000 supporter mark?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's reaching 10,000 this set, because it's a second attempt. The second attempt, it's everything. It's my first second attempt in the set. I don't like to do it that second attempt, but I have a lot of friends and tell me, okay, do it only for this set. Okay, I put it. I do this small upgrade to have now. And the old one and the new one. But if you ask me honestly, I don't believe it's 10K this set.
Okay. And yeah, and I can definitely appreciate that. Like you wouldn't want to just submit the same set, which you are any Lego designer is more than willing to submit the same set again if it doesn't reach or if it doesn't get chosen. But no, I can definitely appreciate wanting to revamp it a little bit and make it more than just the original set. And do you know if is there a new Cobra Kai season that will be coming out in the next couple years?
I think yes. One last season. I don't know when, but one last.
Because that could certainly help drive some demand and support for this set. That would be interesting to see if that'll coincide with, hopefully it comes out before the days left runs out. But that'll be interesting to see if that kind of coincides with any increased demand.
Yes, it helped. But I will do it. But when the TV show put out the last season, I try to do it more in the social media. Commercials and all this stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And then just from my perspective, and what I've seen so far is there any communication, and to the extent that you can share, is there any communication from Lego once you get to the point where it's reaching that 10K mark? Like, do they kind of ask you questions as they decide, or as they decide their finalists, or is it kind of all in their park? They don't reach out to you. You wait for their response. Is that how it works?
I know the only thing I know is when you upload it, and when you reach the 10K, you receive some email, congratulation email, some MDF thing to not speak a lot about this. But I don't know what happened after 10K, if Lego decide to put out your product, and I don't know if you have something to tell, because I believe you are not, if you ask me.
Okay.
I don't know something because you do not, because Lego have their own guidelines how it works, something, and you are not inside the company to for that. I know the Bricklink is different. They ask about you. They ask if you like this and this. I think. I'm not sure, but I think.
Interesting. All great information. And as we kind of work our way throughout your portfolio of Lego designer or Lego ideas submissions, we're working our way back to the Spartan helmet of Leonidas. And as we talked beforehand, myself and Bricotomy, we had some thoughts on this that maybe were a little disparaging, as we were trying to, as best we could, objectively look at these sets from the mind of Lego and say, all right, what would Lego actually make? And of course, you gave me some great clarifying thoughts on this, to the point where, I mean, I could see it, because assume if Lego has a spot for, let's say, all right, Lego's thinking, all right, we want a cheaper Lego idea sets. We've been dropping all these $120, $130, pushing $200. If we want to kind of get more people into the Lego ideas theme, why not grab this? You said there were 300 pieces in there. Why not make this $40? Or, and as I talked about, it's got some of those gold chrome pieces, not chrome, but gold metallic pieces, maybe $50. But kind of walk us through your inspiration and your kind of goal and objective with this set.
Okay. First of all, I'm from Greece, and I think I saw a lot of helmet of Lego sets, and I have the idea to represent one set who have true historical evidence, and it's not a fantasy. It's a very important historical pieces. And I tried to do only the helmet, because the helmet it's an armor. It's not a weapon. It's a protection, and this is the design perspective is to protect people, not to kill people. And Leonidas is a king of Sparta back then in history. And you ask me, my goal on this piece, on this set, it is a very tiny small Lego idea set. And I have in my mind, Lego maybe could do like a gift, like the car. I don't remember the number of this set, the vintage car, if you know, it's you pick up like a gift, or the boat, the sailing boat. And I have in my mind, I designed something small, something like this area, and maybe I have a sense for something like that, not a big but a small.
Mm-hmm.
And when you design something small, it's totally difficult because you have a lot of restriction to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have many pieces, you don't have many functionality. You must do it something very nice, slick design.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, yeah. And with those smaller sets, I think it's like you said, it's smaller design. It needs to really pack more of a punch because there's not as much to look at as like with the tailspin set, but what is there needs to really capture what you're going for here. And I think this certainly 100% captures it. And I'm actually kind of curious, the shoulder pieces, I don't recognize those at all. Are those breastplates from the
Bionic.
do they still have those pieces?
No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't sold. They exist. It's sold, but
Mm,
if they want, everyone know Lego changed everything about an idea.
yes.
It's a totally different about Bricklink. Bricklink, you design something and it's exactly the same. You are
Mm-hmm.
design the set. The idea. This is the reason he called idea. They want
Yep.
idea, not exactly the design. And the if you see the my friend Pauco Barracuda Bay set, if you see the prototype you have, my friend have, it's a totally different. They
Oh,
keep only the idea of the sets.
interesting. No, it's definitely good to know. And hey, as someone who loves Bionicle, I didn't show you when we were talking before, but the whole top shelf behind me is all Bionicle. So I would, while I didn't get into the G2 Bionicle that used that piece,
Yeah.
I would be overjoyed if they chose this to be one of the Lego Idea sets and then use that piece. I would have to say, Bionicle's coming back. that would be amazing. So no, yeah, this piece is great, and with the, it seems like Lego sometimes shies away from using the shiny metallic pieces. I can think, would you want it to be the same gold as, let's say, the Thanos' gauntlet? Is that what you would kind of expect it to be?
Yes, actually,
Okay.
yes. Because if it don't be a gold, this is the point. It is a gold.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, like you can't
Metallic.
use. Yeah, you can't
Yes,
use. I don't know what other gold piece you would even really use. Like, I mean, a yellow would just not do the
yeah.
trick.
Because if you use a yellow, it's like more toy, and
Exactly.
more toon vibe. But I don't want more toon. I like to be more realistic
Mm-hmm.
perspective.
Certainly. And yeah, I know initially we, Bricatomy and I kind of had our negative thoughts on this set, but I mean, hearing you explain it and walk through kind of your goal, your objective, and your thought process behind this set, once again, I'm like I'm on board for this, and especially with that price point is super advantageous to me. And I know, like I said, sometimes those Lego Idea sets, for me anyways, they kind of price themselves out of my budget. But with this, if it was $50, I could definitely, US dollars, I could certainly see that. But if maybe we go, because you said there's, actually, I just realized, did you make it 300 pieces on purpose?
Yes,
Because of the
because
300
yes,
Spartans?
yes. Actually, this is the reason I do it.
That's awesome. I just, that kind of clicked in my head as I was talking through. That's awesome. Oh, actually, you have a 3D video render. I did not notice that. Let me, I'm just going to have that going through the screen as we continue to talk about this. But I just lost my train of thought. I think I was
But
basically just saying about how, like, this is definitely something that I would pick up because of the price point. Like with Lego Idea sets, they're typically around $100 to $150. And with all the Lego that's already out there, it's really tough to be like, yeah, I'll just drop another 150 on this other Lego set that maybe I wasn't initially thinking about. But no, this is certainly one that I would be more than happy to grab at that $30 to $50 price point. So I definitely think from that perspective, it is fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Now let's move on to the set that made you, or I guess caused you to pipe up in chat last week when we were talking about the Tailspin Sea Duck, because I did see the show when I was a kid, but it was kind of tucked way back in the back of my brain and didn't really put the pieces together. And then once I realized what the show was, I was like, oh, obviously, yeah, that's perfect. Because I was kind of thinking plane crash, that seems like a touchy subject, just a straight up plane crash. I don't know if Lego would want something negative like that. But then when you kind of put the pieces together and even explain it more, literally put the pieces together and explain it more with like, all right, so you've got the plane crash, you've got the island, they're trying to maybe fix the plane and fly off the island, which is totally able to be done with what we have here. And I don't even know, I don't know what I was thinking or not thinking, because in my mind I wasn't even considering the fact that, oh yeah, obviously you could put the plane back together. That would just totally make sense. So walk us through your kind of inspiration, obviously with the TV show, and then your designing process for this set, and then your build process in the studio for this one.
Okay, let's start it. At first, I have an idea about the Lost. Everyone knows the Lost. But the Lost, if you type right the Lost in the idea submission, they don't allow to do it. And my second thought is I try in my mind to find a famous plane. And the second famous plane, it's from this TV show, because back then in the 90s, this show, it's very popular, it's very adventure and very searching, and it's very nice show. It is very nice show. But to be honest, the only thing I have in my mind is the same thing you told. It's a plane crash, and Lego afraid to touch these things. Even it's a tune. Back, I have in my mind from the start. I have in my mind to do a one or a two set, to have a very positive, at the end, a very positive
message, basically.
Yes, a very positive. Thank you. Sorry, a very positive message. To when something gets broken, something is totally wrong, you can fix it. It works, and you are free. And this is the reason I designed this. I am inside of the rules of the pieces, Lego pieces, because the if you remember, I write the last when you the last live you have, when you write, I write you.
Yes.
It's 3,000 pieces is the limit. If you push it that limit, Lego, when you set the file, Lego, if you are like 10 pieces, 50 pieces, okay, not a problem. But if you are 30,000, and Lego don't do something because it's you break the rules.
Yep. So remind me how many pieces this was again?
I think it write in the description, and I don't remember.
Let's see. 2,975.
Yes, 2007.
Okay.
About the design, the difficult part of this It is how I create not only the jungle, but this difficult diagonally anarchy axis to sit the plane. Because if you see the grass plane, it's every part. It's a different position in the diagonally. It's to be more natural.
Mm-hmm.
This is the difficult part, and also I redesigned 3 different engine to find the correct one size.
Wow. So there was some engineering, I guess, is a better better way to describe how to properly fit this. So that was to fit it in the crashed position. There was some maneuvering to figure out how it was really going to sit in there. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I tried a lot to find the correct position of each part, the big one parts, like the nose, the middle part, because the middle part also it's a storage part. It's a house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm kind of curious, how does it sit in there, or do the pieces sit on the rocks or the terrain? Do they stick in there?
No. It's with the joints. The joints, all joints for the.
Okay. Interesting.
You can put it out, and after that you can remodel, and you create this one, the entire.
Interesting. And I know that from a Lego / just a retailing design or a retail aspect of this set, I think, because this scratches a lot of itches for people, where you have the whole island. Of course, it's not a pirate build per se, but it kind of is that same genre in a way. From your experience with the Lego Ideas program, does having a what's the word I'm looking for? An IP set, a license set, does that help get your submission across?
Look, if you ask me, when you design something like a rock, like a snow, mountains, this is in a tropical island. Tropical island, okay, everyone know tropical island before because the pirate said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is only a tropical island, the only common. And if Lego put it out, I know many mockers. They will go to the pirate, this island.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, back then when I started, the IP of this set is a Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid of this set. But now, maybe because the Disney have a ceremony about the I don't think they have a ceremony set about this
the Disney 100 sets.
Yes, and maybe this set it's click inside of this ceremony. Maybe I don't.
That could be cool. That would be awesome, and a really good way, because I think, like for me and the 90s kids and all that generation, where it's just niche enough where not everyone's gonna make a Tailspin set. I think there was maybe one other set that was Tailspin in Lego Ideas, but it's just known enough to where, like me, like it's in the back of my brain, and once I see it, I'm like, oh, Tailspin, I remember that set. That was an awesome TV show back in the day, and the set is a great representation of that, and it's island themed, and like you said, a lot of mockers might have a field day with this one. But I mean, all in all, I think it's a great set with almost 3,000 pieces. What would you have any idea of where Lego could price this set?
I think like a Barracuda, no, like more, like two and a half hundred dollars,
Okay.
something like that.
Yep.
Something like. Do you? What do you think?
Yeah, that's where I was probably gonna put it because the way I look at it is there's a decent amount of smaller pieces, which helps bring the price down a bit. Especially with the foliage, there's a number of repeat pieces. Now on the flip side, there's a lot of bigger pieces too, with the sandbar having those kind of big quarter pieces. So yeah, probably $250 US
Yes.
is about
Yes,
where I would
something.
expect it. I could even see it going to 270, because if you think about it, you're getting the whole plane, which if you have the piece count handy for maybe the plane, that could help decide. But I would imagine the plane itself would probably be maybe $100, a little over 100.
Something like 100, something like that. Yes.
Yeah,
Actually, yes.
because you're essentially you're getting the plane and you're getting an island. So putting those two together, I mean, it's pretty substantial. And as far as the footprint, do you know about how long the island is?
What do you? How long?
Correct.
I don't remember. Sorry, I don't. I can do it if you have time to open the set, and I can tell you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, most certainly.
Give me a second. Give
Mhm.
me a second. Very nice. Also, give me a second to open my studio.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
No problem. And yeah, Moments of the Magic had a thought. It could also be something would would pass because Tailspin 35th anniversary is coming in 2025. That would be an interesting. I know we tend to, as Lego fans, say, "Oh, the anniversary, the 35th or the 20th or the 100th anniversary of XYZ is coming up, so certainly Lego would do something." Unfortunately, that's not always the case, but that could be a great reason. They could have a little insignia, 35th anniversary. Definitely would be a great reason for making this a set.
Yes. Actually, I agree. Yes, I don't know. I don't know about that. Very nice information. Thanks. But give me a second to open my studio
Yeah.
file. Okay. The model of the plane. It have 200 pieces.
Oh,
Only the plane.
interesting. And do they have a measurement of how the...
Yes. Can I share my screen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get rid of the mask.
Do you see my screen?
Yes.
It's open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the plane, actually. And if you go to model information, you will see the total, the parts. The total parts, sorry, this is the total parts. Do you see?
Yes.
644.
Okay. Yep, I see that.
And the physical, and here is the centimeter, or I don't know how length, how high. And let's open my island. Sorry about that. Let's open the island.
6.
Okay. If I go here, if you see something like here, you see centimeter, it's something, length, it's something 85 centimeters.
85. Let me do a quick conversion for us Americans.
Inches, hints, how?
Oh, you already did it for me. 33.4 inches. Let me get I've got my handy dandy tape measure. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's
That
big.
is Fairly big.
Yes.
In a good way, of course.
Yes, and head height
Wow.
is 30. It's not too high in height measure.
And then the height is a little over a foot, and then the
Width,
width is 20. Yeah, no, that is a very large footprint. So yeah, I mean,
yes.
even that with 250 for that, I think that would be a great deal. So I would probably expect them. I don't know the exact price range of Lego Idea sets in the past, but I mean, 270, that would be
Yes,
worth it, especially since that you're getting a fully functional and buildable plane for that's probably, I don't know, could easily be sold for 120, 130 bucks. Just kind of
yes.
comparing it to Star Wars sets.
But the Star Wars have a very expensive IP.
Correct. Very correct. No, that's super cool to see the design and kind of that three-dimensional aspect as well.
You see this. This is the part you go. You see the SOS, the
Mm-hmm.
battle, the battle. This is these pieces is when you pick up from inside of the plane everything.
Ah, all that's in the
You
plane?
yes, and the plane have a storage, and you pick up the element from the storage, and you build the raft.
That's awesome.
And
That's really cool.
now, if you go with a character with a minifigure, you can go through here and here, and you go from the one wing, broken wing, to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the fireplace and a treasure. I don't have the gem here. Okay, with a waterfall,
Oh, that's so
and the
cool.
pieces for the waterfall, the bubble for the waterfall is the ice cream.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's really cool.
And also the coconuts. I create the coconuts from the for hair pieces. Also,
Oh yeah. That's
it's a
cool.
figure, and I don't know what happened, but I try to do something very nice, very.
Yeah, and just thinking, comparing this to the other set that I can most easily compare it to is the Winnie the Pooh set. That kind of gives me
Yes,
the same theme
fine.
ish, but I mean, this is right down that alley. A huge footprint. I think it would draw a lot of people in, especially if Lego could. Obviously, the cheaper the better for anyone except Lego, but pricing it closer to $200 would be absolutely amazing. But I mean, yeah, like we've said, I would expect about 250 at the
Something
average
like
price range.
yes.
And
I
was
don't
there
know.
I was gonna say, was there a specific scene from the TV show that this comes from, or this was just kind of you took the inspiration from the TV show and then just went from there? Because I haven't seen the
No,
TV show in a long time.
no. I have seen the show, all the episode. I don't remember the existing a crash plane.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I have a lot of problem with the plane, but this is my idea. It's totally my
Awesome.
imagination to create something like that.
That is so cool.
Thank you very much, really.
Man, the more I look at this, and of course talking to you and just kind of learning more about this, I really hope uh, this is one of the finalists. That would be great. And then, do you know when? I'm not sure on the timeline of when Lego decides which sets they would use. Would this come out, or would the sets from this finalist going to be coming out in 2024 or 25? Do you know?
I know. I think the result it's about after the December.
Okay.
of this round. Of this round, I don't remember very well, but I think it's like after the January.
Okay.
We know what round.
Okay. So the results will come in January, and then do you know when they'll go into production and then when they'll be sold?
Sorry, give me a second. Sorry. Tell me again. Sorry.
Do you know when the sets will go into production and be sold?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's information.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to think of the timeline of previous Lego Idea sets, but I can't exactly remember what those timelines look like.
This is another rendering, more, more, more. This is a render from a studio.
Ooh.
The other is from another program. I don't have the first render because also I tried to do a poster for the fans.
Yep.
This is the upgrade. When I reach
Yep.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the bad guy.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
very famous of the show.
That's awesome.
This is 6, 70, 80, 90, and 10.
That's so cool.
Thank you, really.
That's really cool. So then,
Now, the only thing I'm waiting is that. Do you know about challenges?
I do not think so.
The challenge, the inside the Lego Idea.
Oh, is this the? Oh no, I do not. I'm not familiar with this one.
This is competition. It's a challenge. It's like a competition.
Here, let me try and find it. And that's, of course, that's what your Andromeda Galaxy is for, no doubt.
Yes, it's this one. It's very difficult to design. Really, really, really. If you see, I use all the elements, the bent elements have Lego to do the correct, like a paint draw, like a drawing.
Wow. Is this for the event that I sent you, or is this for a different Lego event?
It's one before that.
Okay, yeah, okay. Design the ultimate postcard for space exploration, which they're in
Now,
review right now. It looks like.
yes, we at Monday, Tuesday, we know who win.
Oh, okay, that's the one you mentioned on Tuesday. Let's sort
Yes,
by, and you appear to be the most popular one, which is definitely bodes well.
yes, it is popular. It's extremely the technique I use. If you see my screen now,
Yep.
I use all the bent to find the correct bent to connect with the correct pieces. It's totally difficult to do that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
At the end, it's something like that. You have something like that as a result.
That's so cool. And would those be glow in the dark pieces?
Yes, actually,
Okay.
the white. Yes, if you close. Now you said the glow. I have. Sorry about my. I have this one, and one of my set of my idea I have before many years is this one, and I want to rebuild it,
Ooh.
and I do it again. Why? This is actually I create. It's my second attempt in Lego Idea before many years.
Wow.
It's a black and white, only black and white, and the white pieces, and the white pieces. This is the only for the.
Glow in the dark.
I try. Yes, there, and I try to do something like that when you close the door. It's like like a skeleton dragon. This is.
Oh, that's so cool.
I want to do it again. I want to in the better version of this because I don't know if Lego have something like that.
No, I don't. Not to my memory. That would
It's a,
definitely be unique.
yes, and very ghostly.
Yeah. And then even with there's now that you mentioned that challenge, I recall the
Yes,
other challenge that I sent you, which is a science technology. I have the
that's
link in our chat.
I
Let's see.
stopped I stopped my
Yep. I will close that.
and okay and I s the other challenges is
It is Celebrate the Wonder of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So were you aware of that one before I sent it to you?
no, I don't see it. I see it when you send me,
So
and
do you have
it
some
seems
ideas swirling around in your head already for that one?
not exactly because I think it's very difficult for
Mm.
me. It's very difficult. I don't know. Maybe I have because it have many days,
Oh yes.
but I don't know. I have a very curiosity about the result of Andromeda Galaxy
Mm-hmm.
because I do something. I put a lot of effort
Oh yeah.
for a lot of effort for a challenge, and you know about that. In extremely way, Lego can use set from the challenge to put like a Lego idea set.
Interesting. That'll be interesting to see. So yeah, no, as I was looking at this, I know we had talked about before about, if I have any ideas, you'd love to work with me and maybe make something, collaborate in that respect. So as I'm kind of thinking through, I'll let you know. There's 30 days left in this set, so I'll let you know if I have any great, amazing ideas for this one, and then we can see what kind of collaboration we can come with. But
Yes.
I'll have to spend a lot of time because I have no idea what I would come up with. And as we round out today's episode, I know we're a little over time, but so we'll kind of get some final thoughts. And thank you so much for taking the time today. It's been awesome. I hope the viewers have enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been great. The rewatch, of course, anyone if you're just joining for now, you can certainly rewatch it as we run out the end of the episode. Yeah, I think this will be one of the best ones of the show so far to rewatch. So much learned, so much shown, so much information gained from me, or for me, not from me, for me. But as you mentioned, post COVID, there's been this huge influx of Lego ideas submissions. And I think the 49 sets that are a part of this wave of reviews, how do you feel about the sets that you're competing against for this round of the Lego Ideas program?
If you ask me honestly, I have big respect from each one because I know what what they do to reach the 10K, what difficult way to do it that, and and I have big respect from each one. And many people thought uh, to not support because if you support this guy, maybe could output this guy and not yours. They don't have in Lego Idea. The competition is if you have like if you design, for example, a pirate ship and I design a pirate ship, yes, we have a competition.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have a house and you design a boat, this is not competition because Lego decide to put out a boat.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. No, and that's a great way to look at it. It's not really competition unless you make it a competition by making something that someone else has made.
Like, like, for example, in this wave, we have the four or five, three. I don't remember the house of
The Taylor
the
Swift. Yep.
Taylor Swift. This house, it is if Lego decide to put out a house of Taylor Swift, it is in competition.
Mm-hmm.
This by designer.
So even in that, like, do you even know how Lego would decide?
No, because if I know it, I try to design something that.
That's a great way of looking at it. And then in these sets, uh, is there one or two? Because will they? Do you know how many they'll select from this wave? Maybe 3 or so, or is there any specific number even?
If you ask me before back 10 years, Lego every wave, I think it's one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, two is extremely two, but one, only one. Now the last year, I think maybe three in this wave. If you ask me, in my perspective, I think it's two, but maybe three.
And do you have 2 or 3 that you would select from this wave that maybe are kind of standouts to you?
Except mine, you mean?
Except yours, of course.
Yes.
If you couldn't pick yours.
Yes. No. I don't want to talk because we talk about mine.
Mm-hmm.
Can you open it? Can you open it? Because I don't remember very well.
Yes. So I have them in the small picture. So I can kind of just, you want me to just kind of scroll quickly through them so you can get an idea? Or I can send you the link as well.
Okay. This one, no, because I like the train, but now Lego, I think it's Orient Express. I put and
Mm-hmm.
this one, I think also Lego put out something like Arcade House. I don't remember. I like. Let's go.
What about this one?
The Arcade House.
The one after the arcade house.
Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, it's on a slight delay. Yeah. Just
Sorry.
through.
Let's do it. No, not this Alfa Romeo. If you mean the Formula, I like it. This one, Formula. I believe maybe have a chance, but I don't know because the vehicle it's not the Lego ideas.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the Muppet Show. I believe it a lot. If you ask me.
Yeah, it's and they worked with the Muppets IP before, so it certainly has that history, of course.
Yes, and they have a strong base.
Mm-hmm.
Adult base. Adult.
Yes, certainly.
Scooby-Doo now, if you ask me, I like and I love Scooby-Doo. I love this design of this man, but it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Steamboat, I love Steamboat. I really want to see it to become a set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we certainly talked about this one a lot last time, and this is a monster. I think it was 30 inches long, if I recall. This is a beast. That's a beast of a ship.
And we don't see a steamboat Lego.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen some other boats, whether it's the Titanic or there was a Bricklink designer boat that was more of a, I don't remember exactly which one, but yeah, no, it certainly wasn't a steamboat.
No. Asterix and Obelix, it's very famous in Europe, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's not very famous in USA.
The next one is the DreamWorks Shrek Swamp.
I don't like Shrek. Sorry about that. I know many people, it had a fan base, but I like Shrek, but I don't like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the beautiful Venice building, modular, but of course, like we said, it's a modular, so.
It's a beautiful, really beautiful, but it is a modular.
Mm-hmm. And this one was interesting, the Stilt House. I really like it, but Is it far enough away from a modular to where it's possible?
This one, it's very very nice set, but it have. If you ask me, I believe it have a lot of problems with stability.
Yeah,
It's,
no, I can
I
definitely see that.
see, I see when you have in your hand, when you shake it, I don't know, but I believe it's problematic about stability. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, I buy it, but I don't know about stability. I'm afraid of this.
Another Red Bull, a smaller
No,
build.
no, it's not. Yes, not, no,
Yeah.
no.
Now, what about the Trojan horse? It's a beautiful design, but I feel like it doesn't have that wow factor. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I don't know if Lego want to build something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's very historical pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if anyone understand it's a Trojan horse or a toy wooden horse.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know about that. If you ask me.
Next one, we talked about this one a little bit. Another,
Yes.
they called it the Stud Lane Book Nook, which it's an interesting concept with literally just the corner, but the backs of the houses. So I don't know if it's too simple,
Eh,
maybe.
yes, I think it's too simple.
Okay.
It's very nice, good idea,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of this.
I thought the
Very clever.
gumball was cool. Gumball machine.
Also, I believe in this set. If you
Oh.
ask me, I believe a lot of this set. Maybe Lego. This one, it's very clever, very unique.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of potential on this set.
Greenhouse kind of does that fit that maybe too simple modular.
Yes,
Probably not a standout. And I would
I
have
like,
to.
I like, I like the techniques. I like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot, really. If you ask me, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fan of Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't
Yeah,
know about
I'm in that boat as well.
that.
And now so we'll pair the two Phineas and Ferb sets together. They had the buildable platypus. Apparently,
Okay,
there's a movie coming soon, so some people think this is going to be chosen because the IP is going to come back in the limelight. Would you agree with that, or what are your
maybe
thoughts?
I don't know. Maybe.
And then, of course, we'll knock all the Taylor Swift lover houses out in one go. So a lot of people are saying because there's 4, 5, whatever, that Lego is going to do it. Do you agree with that?
I'm afraid because Lego, if I remember, they want designers to design Taylor Swift something, and I don't know if maybe I see it one of these putting out.
Hmm.
If you ask me, I don't buy something like that
Yep.
because I don't see playability.
Hmm.
I don't see some. If you are a fan of Taylor Swift, so yes, you will buy it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift.
Yep. I would definitely fall into that category as well. And I don't know. I know Taylor Swift. She's been around for a while, but I kind of see it as just a little too pop culture-y to where, in my mind, Lego is more timeless in
Yes,
most all of their sets, and Taylor Swift just kind of it anchors it a little too much in pop culture for me. However, I think they would. I don't know if they would fly off the shelves if it was priced properly. I feel like they probably would fly off the shelves, but I don't know. It's interesting. This
I
the monograph was cool.
yes, it's cool. It's a very nice idea, and I believe if Lego redesign it,
Mm-hmm.
it have chances,
Mm-hmm.
good chances.
Another Swift house, and then we talked about the Phineas and Ferb. This was the buildable figure. Another train. I would imagine your rationale would be the same as the original train.
Yes,
The Jumanji game board. I was kind of on the fence on that one.
I'm fan of Jumanji
Mm-hmm.
movie, the first one. I don't know. I don't know. It's maybe.
Yeah.
I like if Lego put out, I buy it. But I don't know if Lego.
Mm-hmm. Kerbal
Uh,
Space Program. I wasn't too sure about this one.
me too, because
Mm-hmm.
Lego have too many set about space now.
That's that's very true. Now this one was interesting. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I don't know if this book was very popular in Europe
No,
or
it's not.
no. Okay, so then that's interesting. Very popular in the United States for kids. Very
Okay.
recognizable. So I wonder if that would limit it because it doesn't have the international recognizability. Hmm.
We have a conversation with good friends about this project, and no one know about why it's so popular. And now you answer about my question.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And it's just a kid's book that like I remember being read to me as a kid or reading as a kid. And so
Okay.
yeah, it would be interesting that it probably would do well in the U.S., but like you said, or you don't recognize it, and so probably wouldn't do very well outside of that.
I will search the book because now I want to search the book.
Absolutely. Now this bike was interesting. I don't know if it made me think of the Vespa.
I I think it's better than this one, if you ask me.
Oh,
Better
interesting.
technique, better technique. And I believe I want to have a bike with Lego. It's very unique idea. Very good execution. Very good.
And it honestly, as I'm looking at it, it doesn't even look like Lego.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a very good technique. It's a very clever, very difficult to build this
Oh
from
my
the scratch.
goodness. Actually,
Yes,
I realize the pedals,
yes, yes.
that technique on the pedals is fascinating.
It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful part
Wow,
piece.
it's like four handlebars, a sausage.
Yes, 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 yes. It's
Wow, that
very,
actually is very
very
detailed.
clever. Very clever.
Wow, that kind of I originally was like, no, probably not, but that kind of flips it around for me. Interesting.
It's very difficult to build this. To have very
That's
clever technique.
That's very true. It would probably be difficult. And the other Muppet Theater, I think, probably is the other one
The
is a
same.
lot cleaner,
Yes,
in my opinion. Now,
yes. Me too.
now, the landscape photographer is a set that we we saw on our first ever episode, and we just fell in love with it right away. Do you feel the same way about this set?
Yes, yes. For me, it's like, do you know the movie Into the Wild?
Into the Wild. Not off the
Have
top of
you?
my head, but I may have.
It's something like that. If you search this movie, it's something like that. But I have the same vibe
Mm-hmm.
of the because it's like a person who leave everything behind and go to the
Mm,
Canada and live in the wild.
yes.
And I love this set. I
Mm-hmm.
really like it.
Yes.
I don't know what happened because it's a vehicle, but it's a very beautiful piece.
And this one was from a TV show. I think American,
I
maybe
don't,
like Canadian TV
I
show.
don't know. I don't
Um,
know this.
Great build, but yeah, I would say it's a little too maybe adult themed for
Yes.
for that. Now this was interesting. The vintage toaster I thought was a really cool build, and the cool mechanics. What do you think about this one?
Uh, Probably I don't know what the mechanic and everything. It's perfect. If you
Mm-hmm.
ask me, perfect, perfect. It's perfection. Uh, I can see it like a props because it's a way clever and it's very unique piece. But I don't know because I want to have set with more playability. This it
Uh,
have playability. My helmet it's not have playability.
mm-hmm.
I'd be honest with myself, but I like a lot really.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely good to consider all the aspects, and same with the New York corner, another modular.
Yes,
Unfortunately, as
yes.
unfortunate as that may be. Okay, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I don't think we got this far. Um, I imagine. Do you recognize Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Is that something you would recognize?
No,
Oh, okay,
sorry.
interesting. Well, so what about because the other Lego idea sets like The Office? Would you recognize The Office?
Yes,
And
yes, the office,
then
yes.
Friends,
Yes, yes, yes. It's very, very.
Seinfeld.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, that's interesting. So maybe this kind of doesn't hit that as iconic as those other TV show IP. This was a show in the 80s,
Okay,
maybe
I don't know.
70s. And yeah,
Okay,
it was basically Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers was obviously the main guy, and it was essentially a kid's show, just very wholesome, friendly. He was known as like the kindest man ever. And so it was just a kid's show where you kind of learned about a little bit of everything. And this
okay.
is the set. So that's kind of cool. But
I don't know the show. The other show I know, but I don't know. I like the set, but I don't know the story behind
mhm.
it.
And then Mary Poppins. This was one that I I kind of doubled down and was like, yes, this one's gonna happen. This one has to happen. But there's so many strong contenders in this 49 lot a wave. So I don't know
It's
about
very
this one.
nice, very nice set. I think it's twice I see this set. I
Oh,
think,
interesting.
but I don't remember. I think Mary Poppins hit 10K. Not. I don't know if it's the same designer, but
Mm-hmm.
I think at the past we have in the review phase Mary Poppins. I don't remember, but I think.
That's good to
I
know.
don't remember well. I
Yep,
mean,
yep. And then of course I imagine are you familiar with SpongeBob?
yes,
So
I'm fun. I
this has been based on the limited knowledge I have, there have been multiple SpongeBob Lego ideas submissions that have reached 10K, to none of which have been approved.
yes.
So I mean, it's just another one where it looks great to me. It's got a lot of different episode nods in it. Based on what you know about the Lego ideas process and what has been submitted and not submitted, do you think it's finally time that th're gonna approve a SpongeBob, or do you think
With Lego, never know if you ask me,
that's true? That's true.
because you are right. It's many times Lego SpongeBob reached 10K, and maybe it's the time.
Mm-hmm. Another Taylor Swift. This one is interesting. The Snowy Morning looks great, beautiful build. Not quite a modular because it's not going to connect to something else, but
Yes, this is very beautiful. I don't know about the pieces. It's about how many pieces it have, but I like it a lot, a lot.
let's see if we have. Uh, they said this set contains a bit less than 3,000 parts, so it's just shy of 3,000.
Okay, okay, fine.
Marine
It is beautiful.
Life.
It is beautiful.
Um, another Taylor Swift. The Chameleon was one that I thought was fun and maybe had potential. It's a little bit of a smaller build. Um,
It's tiny, like my
mm-hmm,
helmet.
mm-hmm. Do you think that was
Nice.
maybe shied away from being a potential?
It it have a potential like my helmet to be like a gift, like a
Mm-hmm,
small set. If you
mm-hmm.
ask me.
Of course, the train bookends.
This is the second time. I'm
Oh,
sure for
okay,
that.
okay. Uh,
It's very clever, very nice, very unique, but it's a second.
mm-hmm. What about the Disney lamp?
And this is third or fourth time I see this lamp.
You're probably thinking, not again, another lamp. No,
I
yeah,
love I love Pixar. Really,
yeah.
I love.
Oh
I
yes.
don't know what happened,
Hmm.
but it's a very, very, very nice technique, a very nice, very clever technique of this lamp.
And then NASA space launch, I can only imagine that they probably wouldn't do it just because it's competing with the other space themes that they already have, and the Saturn launcher. rocket that they already have, just kind of little too much competition, internal competition.
Yes. It's difficult. It's difficult to put out this thing.
Mm-hmm. Now I am not Great Ball Contraption Showcase. I am not.
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it looks like it runs through, but I don't know.
Yes, it is interesting, but I don't know the concept behind of
Mm-hmm.
this.
And then lastly, a chess master, which it looks like it's a functioning chessboard.
Yes, but I see a lot of chess in 7 years inside the Lego idea, and I don't know. I believe they want to put their own chess. If you ask
Yep.
me,
And they do have a chessboard that I think is retiring this year, so that probably would put this one out of contention. But I mean,
yes,
like we looked through, there's just so many
chess.
so many amazing sets in here, submissions, and there's so much to go against, and whew, it's gonna be a tough. In some respects I envy them because they get to make some interesting choices, but on the other side I don't envy them because they have a lot of hard decisions to make of who they're going to take and who they are not going to take.
The Lego idea they search also the profit about who sold. They see not only from the design perspective, they see a lot of perspective
Mm-hmm.
when you design something, and this is the reason no one know what they picked.
That is, yeah, all great information, and with because you being in this for about 7 years or a little over 7 years is really great insight that I certainly do not have. So I greatly appreciate you hopping on here. And I know I said we were going to talk about the Bricklink Designer Program, but I think I don't want to take up any more of your time. We can definitely save that for a later episode of the CPA-fol podcast. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Delusion Brick, looking over your designs, your process, learning a little bit more about how you came to these designs, and congratulations, of course, for getting into the 10K club with two of your sets in one sweep, one qualification review. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on that. And as you said, those finalizations will occur in about December or January. So then we'll certainly check in with you around that time. Hopefully with celebrations, knowing that your sets, one of your two sets, or maybe both of them, were chosen. Absolutely. Any final thoughts as we sign off today?
At first, thank you very, very much for the invitation. It is a pleasure to be here, and the time it's go very, very fast because it's very nice.
Exactly.
And thank you a lot, really. If you want something, ask me about. Feel free about everything, information about the Lego idea, Bricklink, about everything. I have this knowledge about about 7 years.
Absolutely.
And I really, really appreciate the interview. It's a beautiful. I have a conversation with you. Thank you a lot to give me the opportunity to have to expand my idea, how I feel, how I thought, my thoughts, my ideas.
Mm-hmm. Most certainly. And as for anyone watching, you can certainly follow him on Instagram as he gives updates about various sets and projects he's working on. You'll certainly want to check those out to stay connected with him and his progress throughout this Lego Ideas series and Lego Ideas review, as his sets are both in the review process. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by in the chat. Thanks you, Delusion Brick, for this conversation. It was certainly wonderful, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll see you all in next week's episode. As actually, next week, I will be at Brick World Grand Rapids in Michigan, so I'm trying to figure out if I can do something a little special for next week's episode. doing some work, trying to figure out how I can figure that out. So stay tuned for next week's episode, and we will see you all there. And